Assalamu alaikum and welcome. In this vital video, we explore the importance of internal controls in Masajid and Madrasas, institutions that hold religious responsibility and financial and ethical trust on behalf of the Muslim community. Learn how effective governance, transparency, and Sharia-compliant practices can protect sacred funds like Zakat, Sadaqah, and Waqf, preventing mismanagement and misuse, strengthening community trust and accountability, uphold the spiritual integrity of religious institutions. If you're a trustee, administrator, donor, or concerned community member, this video is a must-watch to understand your role in preserving the Amanah entrusted to you. Don't just serve with integrity. Watch now and become a guardian of transparency. The importance of internal control for Masajid and Madrasas. Internal controls are essential for preserving the trust, transparency, and integrity of Masajid and Madrasas. These institutions rely on public contributions and spiritual accountability, making it vital to establish clear systems for financial management, governance, and operational oversight. Strong internal controls protect against fund misuse, ensure compliance with legal and religious obligations, and build credibility within the community. They help maintain order, uphold Islamic values, and guarantee that every donation, whether Zakat, Sadaqah, or Waqf, is used appropriately and effectively. Ultimately, internal control is not just a managerial tool, it reflects Amanah, trust, a responsibility placed upon leaders to safeguard what belongs to the Ummah and to serve with fairness, discipline, and sincerity. Remember, be honest, appear honest, and ensure your circumstances testify to it. In the service of faith, sincerity is not just a virtue, it is your foundation. Integrity is doing what is right, even when no one is watching. For those who serve in Masajid and Madrasas, unseen moments define eternal accountability. Those who manage the Masjid and Madrasa are not owners. They are custodians of the people's trust and guardians of sacred contributions. Let every action reflect that sacred responsibility. We have discussed the following matters in this video. 1. Financial management. 2. Educational program controls. 3. Facility and property management. 4. Human resource controls. 5. Program and service controls. 6. Governance and oversight. 7. Compliance and risk management. 8. Educational safety and child protection. Each section has 3 subsections, and each subsection has 6 bullet points. It is a comprehensive training. Section 1: Financial Management. 1.1 Donation Handling. Cash collection protocols. Implement transparent procedures for collecting donations during prayers and events. Multiple counters. Require at least 2 people to count and record donations together. Donation boxes. Secure donation boxes with multiple locks requiring 2 keys held by different trustees. Receipt system. Provide receipts for all significant donations with proper documentation. Digital donations. Establish secure systems for online, electronic, and mobile donations. Special collection tracking. Create separate tracking for Zakat, Sadaqah, Waqf, and restricted donations. 1.2 Banking and Treasury. Dedicated accounts. Maintain separate accounts for general operations, Zakat, endowments, and capital projects. Signatory requirements. Require dual signatures for withdrawals above a specified amount. Regular reconciliation. Reconcile bank statements monthly with Oversight Committee review. Cash reserve policy. Establish appropriate cash reserves for operational contingencies. Investment guidelines. Create clear, Sharia-compliant investment policies for surplus funds. Financial reporting. Generate monthly financial statements for management and quarterly reports for trustees. 1.3 Expense management. Authorization hierarchy. Establish approval levels for different spending thresholds. Documentation requirements. Maintain receipts and support documents for all expenses. Expense categorization. Properly classify expenses for accurate program cost reporting. Petty cash controls. Implement strict controls for small cash disbursements. Budget adherence. Monitor actual expenses against approved budgets. Vendor payment procedures. Establish consistent protocols for paying suppliers and service providers. Section 2. Educational Program Controls. 2.1 Curriculum Management. Curriculum documentation. Maintain detailed documentation of all curricula with learning objectives. Teaching material review. Establish a process for reviewing and approving educational materials. Program evaluation. Conduct regular assessments of educational effectiveness. Student progress tracking. Implement systems to monitor and document student achievement. Teacher qualification standards. Define minimum qualifications for different teaching roles. Resource allocation. Establish processes for allocating educational resources fairly. 2.2 Student administration. Admission procedures. Document transparent enrollment processes and requirements. Record keeping. Maintain secure, comprehensive student records. Attendance tracking. Implement consistent attendance monitoring for both students and teachers. Code of conduct. Establish clear behavioral expectations with fair enforcement. Scholarship management. Create transparent criteria for financial assistance. Graduation requirements. Define and document completion standards for programs. 2.3 Educational Quality Assurance. Teacher evaluation. Conduct regular assessment of teaching effectiveness. Peer review. Implement systems for scholarly review of educational content. Student feedback. Gather and respond to student feedback on educational experience. External review. Consider periodic evaluation by respected external scholars. Continuous improvement. Establish processes for regular curriculum updates. Benchmarking. Compare educational outcomes with other respected institutions. Section 3. Facility and Property Management. 3.1 Building Security. Access control. Implement appropriate systems for building access during different hours. Key management. Maintain strict control over the distribution and return of keys. Surveillance systems. Install appropriate security cameras in public areas. Emergency protocols. Develop and post procedures for various emergencies. Security personnel. Consider appropriate security staffing for larger gatherings. Visitor management. Establish protocols for visitor reception and monitoring. 3.2 Maintenance and upkeep. Maintenance schedules. Develop regular maintenance plans for buildings and grounds. Inspection procedures. Conduct periodic safety and condition inspections. Repair authorization. Establish approval processes for maintenance expenditures. Contractor management. Implement verification procedures for all service providers. Cleaning standards. Maintain appropriate cleanliness standards for prayer and educational spaces. Energy conservation. Implement policies to manage utility costs efficiently. 3.3 Asset management. Property inventory. Maintain detailed records of all institutional property and equipment. Asset tagging. Use identification systems for valuable equipment. Waqf properties. Maintain special documentation and protection for endowed properties. Library controls. Implement checkout systems for books and reference materials. Technology management. Track and maintain computer and audiovisual equipment. Vehicle management. Establish usage policies and maintenance schedules for institutional vehicles. Section 4 Human Resource Management. 4.1 Staff Management. Hiring procedures. Document transparent hiring processes with appropriate screening. Job descriptions. Maintain clear responsibilities for all paid positions. Performance evaluation. Conduct regular staff performance reviews. Compensation policy. Establish fair and consistent salary structures. Staff development. Provide opportunities for continuing education and professional growth. Conflict resolution. Implement fair procedures for addressing workplace concerns. 4.2 Volunteer management. Volunteer screening. Establish appropriate background checks for volunteers working with children. Role definition. Clearly define volunteer responsibilities and expectations. Recognition programs. Acknowledge and appreciate volunteer contributions. Training requirements. Provide necessary training for volunteer roles. Volunteer coordination. Designate coordinators to organize volunteer activities. Volunteer tracking. Document volunteer hours and contributions. 4.3 Leadership succession. Board rotation. Establish term limits and rotation policies for board, committee members. Leadership development. Identify and prepare potential future leaders. Emergency succession. Create contingency plans for unexpected leadership vacancies. Transition documentation. Maintain detailed procedures for leadership transitions. Imam, scholar succession. Develop plans for the continuation of religious leadership. Institutional knowledge. Document essential procedures and relationships. Section 5. Program and Service Controls. 5.1 Prayer Services. Prayer Schedule Management. Establish reliable systems for timely prayers. Juma planning. Implement organized procedures for Friday congregational prayers. Special prayer events. Develop protocols for Eid, Taraweeh, and other special prayers. Prayer space management. Ensure proper maintenance and preparation of prayer areas. Imam scheduling. Maintain clear schedules for leading prayers. Announcements. Establish guidelines for appropriate announcements during services. 5.2 Community programs. Program approval. Implement a review process for all community programs. Calendar management. Coordinate scheduling to avoid conflicts. Program evaluation. Assess the effectiveness and community benefit of programs. Resource allocation. Establish a fair process for distributing resources among programs. Publicity standards. Develop guidelines for program promotion. Feedback collection. Gather community input on program quality and relevance. 5.3 Charitable activities. Aid distribution. Establish transparent processes for distributing financial assistance. Need verification. Implement respectful procedures to verify assistance needs. Aid documentation. Maintain confidential records of all assistance provided. Food distribution controls. Ensure safe and fair distribution of food assistance. International aid. Comply with all regulations for international charitable activities. Partner verification. Conduct due diligence on charitable partners. Section 6. Governance and oversight. 6.1 Board, committee structure. Clear bylaws. Maintain updated governing documents with clear roles and procedures. Committee charters. Define specific responsibilities for each committee. Meeting procedures. Establish consistent protocols for meetings and decision-making. Conflict of interest. Implement policies to address potential conflicts. Transparency mechanisms. Create systems for appropriate information sharing. Community representation. Ensure diverse representation in leadership. 6.2 Policy development. Policy documentation. Maintain written, approved policies for all major functions. Regular review. Establish schedules for reviewing and updating policies. Approval process. Implement clear procedures for policy changes. Policy communication. Ensure stakeholders understand relevant policies. Compliance monitoring. Verify adherence to established policies. Grievance procedures. Create fair processes for addressing policy concerns. 6.3 Strategic planning. Mission alignment. Ensure all activities support the institution's religious mission. Long-term planning. Develop multi-year strategic plans with community input. Goal setting. Establish measurable objectives with regular progress assessment. Resource planning. Align strategic goals with available resources. Community needs assessment. Regularly evaluate changing community needs. Environmental scanning. Monitor external factors affecting the institution. Section 7. Compliance and Risk Management. 7.1 Legal compliance. Nonprofit status. Maintain compliance with tax-exempt organization requirements. Employment laws. Ensure adherence to applicable labor regulations. Child protection laws. Implement strict compliance with child safety requirements. Regulatory reporting. File required government reports accurately and in a timely manner. Document retention. Establish appropriate record-keeping policies. Charitable solicitation. Comply with all fundraising regulations. 7.2 Risk management. Insurance coverage. Maintain appropriate liability, property, and other insurance. Safety programs. Implement comprehensive safety protocols for all activities. Child protection policies. Establish robust procedures for child safety. Emergency preparedness. Develop plans for various emergency scenarios. Reputation management. Create protocols for addressing public relations issues. Incident reporting. Implement systems to document and address incidents. 7.3 Ethics and accountability. Code of ethics. Establish clear ethical standards for all leadership and staff. Whistleblower protection. Create safe channels for reporting concerns. Transparency commitment. Make appropriate financial and operational information available. External audit. Consider periodic independent review of finances and operations. Conflict resolution. Establish fair processes for addressing community conflicts. Ethical decision framework. Guide for making difficult choices. Section 8. Educational safety and child protection. 8.1 Child safety protocols. Background screening. Conduct thorough checks of all staff and volunteers working with children. 2 Adult rule. Require at least 2 adults to be present during activities with children. Clear boundaries. Establish appropriate physical and emotional boundaries. Reporting procedures. Create clear protocols for reporting concerns. Staff training. Provide regular training on child protection. Parent communication. Maintain open lines of communication with parents. 8.2 Safe educational environment. Facility safety. Ensure all educational spaces meet safety standards. Supervision requirements. Establish appropriate student-teacher ratios. Health protocols. Implement procedures for addressing medical needs. Bullying prevention. Create effective anti-bullying policies. Digital safety. Establish guidelines for technology use. Transportation safety. Implement strict protocols for any transportation of students. 8.3 Emergency response. Medical emergency procedures. Train staff on responding to health emergencies. Evacuation plans. Develop and practice building evacuation procedures. Lockdown protocols. Establish procedures for potential security threats. Parent notification. Create systems for emergency communication with families. First aid readiness. Maintain appropriate first aid supplies and training. Community emergency plans. Coordinate with local emergency services. Call to action. Invite the management committee to watch this video collectively. Identify key points and make an action plan. Have regular meetings to follow up. Subscribe to our channel for more insightful videos on religious governance, transparency, and accountability. Our channels are Basheer, Juma, CharitiesUniversity, and Family Business Community. Like, share, and comment to spread awareness in your community. Turn on notifications to stay updated with our latest content for Masjid and Madrasa leadership. Thank you for being with us. Please share with your community members and the Masjid and Madrasa responsible persons.